Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FXOpen Invitational. I am Unstable, joined here by Wolf. We're going to be casting a round one match between EG's In Control and FXOpen's new teams, Sheth. So we are going to be starting on Metalopolis, and this is going to be a very long day for us, as we do have about 4 or 5 rounds of best of 3 to get through. This is going to be a double elimination tournament, so hopefully we can get some great games in from these guys. And I don't know, Wolf, I'm pretty excited for this entire thing. How about you?
I'm extremely excited, especially for this game. I don't know if the reason why we're casting this particular game is because I mentioned to Dell that this is one of the games I really wanted to be able to cover, and that may be why he chose it. But regardless, I'm pretty excited. We do see that players have spawned at cross positions, which is going to make Sheth fairly happy. But I feel like, in the earlier stages of StarCraft 2, like right after release, um, Zerg players would be, oh, I'm so happy about cross positions, and Protoss players would be kind of upset because they couldn't put as early as a pressure off on them. But I think Protoss players playing a lot more of a macro game against Zerg now, so In Control might be pleased with the spawns as well.
Well, In Control did get a lot of good practice in on that Korean server when he was over for the GSL. And I've
Indeed.
just realised I've just got the wrong resolution. There's always one little setting you mess up, isn't there? Right
Yeah,
before it
there's
comes.
saying you don't have your HP bar set properly, or something happens. Uh-oh. There you
There we go.
go.
Much better. But anyway, so we are going to have a scout by In Control on the second one. It's going to happen anyway, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be wanting to stop this expansion drone that's heading down nicely. Nice reaction time by In Control there, I think, just popping that out. So it's just going to have a hard time getting rid of that probe.
Yeah, he's gonna probably maybe even need to bring down a second drone. Looks like now the pylon's there, so he's gonna have to wait. Notice he does get a spawning pool though earlier, so that he doesn't lose any time. The second he saw the probe there, he decided to get a spawning pool. Didn't want to waste any time on that whatsoever.
Mm. I
And
kind of
probe's
like
still
that
alive.
decision. A lot of Zergs are doing that more often these days. Like the second they see that probe, they know that their expansion is going to be delayed regardless. So they just throw down that pool. No gas from Sheth yet, though. I think he wants just to try and clear that pylon as soon as possible to get his expansion up. But looks like In Control
Yeah,
is just going for your standard opener so far. Nothing quirky out of him.
yeah, he does keep that probe hidden over there. I like that, so we can go back and scout later.
Mm.
And In Control has his gas up. He hasn't saturated it quite yet, which means he could try to do something interesting, and throw down a forge. But I don't think that's probably what he has in mind. I think he may actually have just forgotten to saturate the gas. But there's a possibility he could throw a forge down here in just a moment and
Mm.
try to cannon. Getting a second gas, just not getting that saturated. Losing that pylon there.
Yeah, this is delaying his warp gate research and his first Stalker or Sentry to come out, because these Lings might actually be more troublesome than they should have been, especially if they can do a lot of damage to this gateway if they get round there in time. Sheth is
Yeah,
only just now figuring out where In Control is too. He did not send that drone scout straight away.
I don't think In Control is happy about his forgetting to put the units in the gas. And
No.
I think that was a huge blunder. There's, like I said, there's a possibility he was going to try to cannon the expansion from far with that probe that he has hidden, but that would have been very difficult to do. And against a good player who's going to be scouting with overlords, wouldn't work out. And here come the Lings. Can't get in there. Chronoing out
Yeah.
that Stalker, but this gateway is going to take a lot of damage.
I'm not sure whether that might actually fall or not, because that Stalker will take quite a while to take down these Lings, especially if there's 8 of them sitting there. So this could be a very big blunder by In Control if he does manage to get this gateway down. The Stalker's out. It's going to start working away. It looks like he's brought his Zealot here to help do some damage. Sheth splitting up his units. He might actually take down this gateway. No.
Does decide to back off. That was a close call there. Really nice decision making by In Control, pulling the Zealot and then putting it back just in time. Didn't want those Lings to get into his main base, and he keeps the gateway alive. Really nice control there. I really like that.
Yeah, we
Chronoing
do
that
have
warp gate research, trying to get it done soon. Go ahead.
yeah, he does have a proxy pylon over on the left, so we are going to be seeing some 4-gate coming from him. I think this is really going to be dangerous for Sheth, as he does not see it coming yet. He did just sack an Overlord. He has seen all 4 gateways now. Great unit control by Sheth, I think. He's just scouted the entire base. pretty much effortlessly right there. Does see Warp Gate research is done. We got Spine Crawlers going up at the natural now, but oh, this is going to be very close as units are being warped in. Over on the left, we got 2
Yeah, I
Stalkers, 2
think Sheth could be
Sentries.
in trouble.
Definitely, he does not see this proxy pylon over here. He does have Speedlings out now, and he's got 14 on the way, and those 2 Spine Crawlers will hopefully just be able to save him. But I really think if this was InControl's game plan from the beginning, it's definitely been delayed.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, he could have actually tried to pressure a little bit with those units, but he wanted to be careful. He knew there were a lot of Zerglings on the map. And I think he's just going to wait a little bit longer. He's not going to see the Spine Crawlers being repositioned because that would be a really big, juicy opportunity to go in there. But I think he's just going to wait for more and more units.
Yeah,
And
as
Speedlings are out on the
Sheth
map
is looking
checking for
around
that.
everywhere, but he's
Yeah.
just not scouted in the one spot that he is, which is very unfortunate. If we look at the Fog of War, the only little spot where that thing is there. But here we go. So InControl is going to come across. Sheth does see it now. He is working away at that Spine Crawler. Sheth is just surrounding those Zealots. He really wants to get a good surround at the back where those sentries are. InControl does have quite a few units streaming in. More, I think he's trying to waste as many force fields as he can. Pulling drones now for Sheth. These Zealots are dropping fairly quickly, though. There are a lot of Lings. Four Zealots left, 2 being warped in. The sentries are now being mulched by those Lings, and Sheth, a wise decision, pulling his Lings back. I like that decision. Back to the safety of the Spine Crawlers.
Yeah, nice control there, picking off Zealots left and right with those Lings. And here comes some more. Doesn't have a lot of force fields, doesn't want to use them, but he's forced to use them here in the corner. And InControl could be in a little bit of trouble because his attack is not being as successful as he wanted it to be, and he hasn't thrown down an expansion, so he's very all in with this. And I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, it's a very touch and go here as we do have Sheth. I think Sheth is going to go for a counter attack here. Not going to be worth it because we do still have that Zealot and Stalker at the front. So great decision there by InControl. Not going to be caught off guard like that, but he's continuing to warp units in. We do have more more Lings on the way. This is just purely speedling defense here by Sheth, and a sentry being warped in at the ramp. Really good decision making there. And oh no, just not enough Zealots in this mix. I think InControl's expecting some Roaches to be coming in, but it's just purely Lings coming out from Sheth for this defense.
Yeah, Sheth is looking like he's in a really good position. He's getting his lair right now. He's held this attack off for such a long time. He's got 2 queens over there at his natural now. One of them has enough energy for a transfusion. Could be able to keep those Spine Crawlers alive a little bit longer. Or her other queen, depending on what she chooses. The other queen almost has enough for a transfusion. So that's really going to help. And it looks like InControl is going to back up. And he may decide to expand, but he is lost. You know, he hasn't been producing probes very well. Although I do take it back. Looks like he's produced a decent amount of probes. But regardless, Sheth is going to have a huge economic lead from having that expansion up earlier. And he's just going to continue to harass these Speedlings up here at the front. There's a lot of sentries.
Yeah, he did waste one of the sentries force fields just earlier. And it did force InControl to build 2 more sentries, but he will see with these Lings that all these forces are returning to base now, so he's going to feel a little bit safer. We do have that Forge down now for InControl. He's probably going to be getting the +1 upgrades, and looks like Sheth is actually getting Overlord speed and Hydrogen at the same time, which is interesting to me. I have seen him do this build a couple of times, and pretty much he just makes a creep highway with the speeded Overlords and pushes with his Hydras to kind of exploit the time where the InControl is going to be between those Colossi and his Gateway units and just punish him for that. So it's going to be really cool if that works out for him, but it is a very hard timing to actually hit.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem for Sheth right now, just in this particular moment, is that he didn't have any Roaches at all, so he's not going to be able to pressure InControl right now. So this is going to allow InControl to get expansion. And InControl also, you know, he's a good player. He knows the Hydras are on the way. That's why he's getting that robotics facility. And you know, it's like you said, it's going to be a really crucial timing thing here in just a moment where Sheth's going to have to push out with enough Hydras early enough, and if he waits just, you know, literally could be 30 or 45 seconds too late, he could end up losing the game. And, you know, it looks like he's just really going to make those Hydras and not take a third base, and it's a fairly risky choice, in my opinion.
Very risky, but he has made that Overseer, which will delay any Colossi coming out from InControl, as he will be corrupting this robotics facility. I think he's going to wait until he sees that robotics bay to stall the Colossi. He doesn't want to waste that contaminate at all if he doesn't have to, but an observer is coming out now for in control. He's going to see something like this happening. There is lots of Hydras on the way. The Robotics Bay is about 65 seconds away, and he's actually bringing Spine Crawlers with him. So this is very interesting.
Yep, this is like exactly what you're talking about, and we have seen players do this a lot. And it actually happens to me a lot on the ladder. It's kind of annoying, but you know, the Overlords give the Hydra so much speed, and in control, you know, might be feeling a little bit safe because he's far away, he's at cross positions, but a creep highway is really going to help those Hydras come very quickly. And he's overextending himself a little bit with these Hydras though, and you know, in control could take advantage of this brief moment. There's not a lot of Hydras out, and crush them with those sentries and then kill some of those Overlords. So I think maybe a little bit too soon by Sheth here, and he's going to start to lose some of these Overlords, but he does have speed, so he'll be able to pull back pretty quickly.
Yeah, but there are a lot of Hydras and that Queen at the front now. Wasting as many force fields as he can. He does have those Lings in the main base. In the natural of In Control, they're going to work on these cannons as In Control is out of position, buying him more time. The Spine Crawlers are up the ramp. In Control split his attention right now. Great job by Sheth as these Hydras are getting closer. We do have Spine Crawlers being rooted at the top of this ramp now. And oh, a bit of a misstep by Sheth, losing 3 of those Hydras unnecessarily. We do have more Lings on the way. And that Colossi is on its way. Hopefully Sheth can get that Contaminate off before the first one pops out. I think his contention is elsewhere though. It's going to be very dangerous if this Colossi pops out, and it is now out. There's still 150 energy on that Overseer.
Yeah,
and this is a
needs
very
to go ahead
intense
and go
moment.
in there and spot that the Colossi are coming, and also do the Contaminate on that robotics facility. So that once the second Colossus gets out, In Control is going to be able to push forward pretty safely, especially when range finishes. That's the real key. Getting a Twilight Council, and it looks like we're going to have a little engagement here. Guardian shields up, both players back off, and looks like forcing a cancel on that third base with those wings. Or forcing a cancel on something. I heard a cancellation noise. It may have been a Nexus.
And looks like we might get it. Oh no, the Colossi out of position is going to be... Oh, almost sniped. Is he going to get it? Great surround on those Lings and all those Stalkers though. Here come all the Hydras. The force fields are everywhere. They are off creep now though, so this is going to be very close. In Control chooses to engage here. He's losing a lot of these gateway units to the Hydras. They are just melting all those gateway units. And the Colossi at the top is being forced to retreat here. This does not look good for In Control right now.
Yeah, it's looking really bad. We're even seeing transfusions on those Hydras. Yeah, so there's the GG. Really problematic. Nice positioning of those Hydralisks and the speed links to surround the Stalkers. And part of the problem ended up being that In Control was firing at some of the Overlords Sheth had at the back. Like half of his army was targeting Overlords at the back and not really engaging those Hydras. And the Hydras just got a really nice concave during that moment and picked off half of the army while, you know, half of the army was away. Looks like we're going to go to Shakuras.
Yep. I'm just going to...